Good afternoon, SHS. Welcome to the Salem Show from our Washington County Community Foundation studios at Salem High School. I'm your host, Sydney Brown.
And I'm your other host, Sydney Burton.
Welcome to our special 7th show.
What makes this show special besides us?
Nothing really, but the S words are running low. Got any suggestions?
What about stupendous?
That is a great one.
Thanks. I do have a big brain.
Write that down, or type it down there, teleprompter guy.
I think he might be a little busy.
He can handle it. Also, there's only 17 days left of school.
I did not know that. Wow, the year is almost over.
It sure is. Not that I'm counting down days or anything. Anyways, let's jump into the announcements.
This is where you get all the latest and greatest newsworthy activities happening at Salem High School and beyond.
Congratulations to seniors Austin Doyle and Zara Kateri. They are going to the Skills USA Nationals competition in Atlanta for their carpentry work with Prosser. We are proud of you.
Any freshman, sophomore, or junior interested in applying for student council or class officer should pick up an application in the library from Ms. Hazlip or Ms. Medlock in room 21.
All applications are due by Monday, May 1st. Voting will be held during the last full week of school.
Are you a 21st century scholar? Take advantage of some of the upcoming help sessions to get your Scholar Track activities completed.
The SHS Alumni Banquet is tonight in the main gym at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale in the bookstore for $20. Checks can be made out to the SHS Alumni Association. The Military Club is accepting donations for care packages to be sent to deployed Indiana soldiers. All donations can be brought to room 233, the ISS room.
The following list is ideas for donations: hard candies, non-perishable snacks, beef jerky, hygiene items, playing cards, dice, and baby wipes. Friday, April 7th is the deadline to register for the May 6th SAT. This test will be given at SHS. If you need help registering, please see Ms. Martin. Go to the website below to register.
Seniors, the St. Vincent and Ascension Hospital Scholarship is due today. Please turn it in to Mrs. Martin by 1 p.m. today. Also remember to include your letter of recommendation. Honor Day will be May 12th at 9 a.m. Parents are allowed to take their senior to lunch after the awards program, but seniors must return to SHS for 5th period at 12:40 p.m. This is open to the public.
Graduation is May 27th at 2 p.m. This will be held in Brooks Memorial Gymnasium and is open to the public. Seniors will receive tickets, usually around 4, at graduation practice for floor seating. Bleachers are open seating.
Seniors, anything between now and the end of the year will be sent in an email and posted in the Google 2023 classroom.
The senior year is going by quickly. Make good decisions and keep your grades up.
Reminder, you must have passed all your required classes and met other state requirements by completing a graduation pathway and the gold paper to go along with it in order to march at graduation.
Remember, vending machines are off limits during school hours. If you need a snack, please go to the vending machines before the start of school or after school has let out for the day.
And just your yearly reminder about your Chromebook. Make sure when your Chromebook gets down to 5%, charge it.
Shut down your Chromebook to charge it. This will eliminate most issues in charging Chromebooks.
And winter is still here, I guess. So be careful with your Chromebook. Make sure you're not leaving your Chromebook out in the cold because this may harm the screen or interfere with connections.
So let's kick it over to Davern for the weather.
What's it going to be like this upcoming week?
Thanks, Sid. Well, I'm sad to say it's still going to be a little chilly, but summer is on the way. So let's see what we got. Friday, we'll have a high of 61 and a low of 46, and a 91% chance of rain. And we also have the Alumni Banquet. Saturday, we'll have a high of 66 and a low of 48, mostly sunny, and the Athletic Hall of Fame. Sunday, we'll have a high of 60 and a low of 37, it'll be partly sunny. Monday, we'll have a high 57 and a low 43. It'll be mostly cloudy. Tuesday, we'll have a high 62 and a low 41, mostly cloudy. Wednesday, we'll have a high 65, a low 46, partly cloudy. Thursday, we'll have a high of 70, a low 49, partly cloudy, and it's Thurby. Friday, we'll have a high 74, a low 51, mostly cloudy, and it's Oak Day. Now, let's pause for a short commercial break and then head over to Community News with Elaine.
What can I give to the Community Foundation? The short answer is practically anything. However, we want to work with you to make sure that you give the gift that is most beneficial for you. We know you want to be generous, but why not also maximize your tax savings while you're at it? Very often, people give cash. However, we can also accept stocks, bonds, life insurance, IRAs, real estate, and even grain, timber, and livestock. But please don't bring your cow to our office. We are happy to work with you to determine the gift that makes the most sense for you.
Thanks, Davin, for the weather update. I guess. I'm tired of being teased with the beautiful weather and then going back to cold and wet weather. So let's get our minds off the weather and find out what's been happening in our community. The middle school had a science fair a couple weeks ago. There was a great atmosphere and everyone had a smile on their face. One of the science teachers, Mr. Nichols, said students were encouraged to base their projects off of a question. Students started by asking a question and then seeing if they could observe results based on it. There were some amazing projects there, including one about a solar oven. While most were based on a question, some weren't, including a project from Lauren Clodfelter that worked to teach people about chickens. She even brought chicks to show people. Another science teacher, Mrs. Mahiran, said, students were encouraged to find something of interest to them and research it. This led to many of the projects you see here. Overall, it was a great night at Salem Middle School. And thanks, Braden, for going to the science night and getting those pictures and insights. The past month, we have been bringing you interviews that we have done. We have had fun finding out about the people that make SCS such a good place. We have had a busy past couple of weeks with interviewing people. Our first interview is with none other than our very own Salem Show anchor, Sydney Brown. Today we are sitting down with our SLNN member and one of the 90 high school seniors from throughout the state of Indiana who have been named the 2023 Academic All-Stars, Sydney Brown. Thanks, Sydney, for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little about the award and how you were chosen.
So the award is, as you said, the top 90 seniors in the state. 40 reach state level and 50 get regional. So I was a regional winner. Each school gets one nominee, and I was Salem's. And a lot of them that end up winning, I saw in the packet that we got of all the awards, were a lot from northern schools, and many of them were bigger schools. So I was told that it was really good to get it from a smaller school because a lot of us don't get recognized being from the southern Indiana. But you just do a basic application. I wrote an essay about an influential teacher in my life, and I had to fill out my academic classes, transcripts, any extracurriculars that I'm involved in, and a lot of community service.
As you said, it's based on more than academics. So what are some of your extracurriculars that you have participated in now and in the past?
I'm highly involved in extracurriculars, so I won't bore you with all of that. Some of my main ones, I'm a 4-year member of student council here, and I'm currently the vice president. I'm a 4-year member of Tri-High Y and currently the vice president. And I'm also in National Honor Society, and I'm also the vice president. Some of my outside community service, so I'm part of the Washington County Youth Foundation, where we help all 3 schools in our county. And through that, I have funded and started the school supply drive, which is a main part of my community service.
The award is also based on the kind of courses that you have taken. What are some of your tougher classes that you have taken throughout high school?
I have made it a mission to kind of get all of the college courses that Salem offers out of the way now before I get into college. So a lot of those are the hardest. I will say it has been difficult that this year and my junior year I've taken 2 honors science classes, so it's kind of hard to take a math and 2 science classes at the same time. But I really enjoy math and science, and it's worked.
What are some of the benefits of taking harder classes?
Salem does great in offering opportunities for their students to get college courses out of the way. So I am now entering into college with about 50 or so credits that I've already taken. So I'm almost entering as a sophomore in college already.
What are some of your favorite classes that might not have been as hard, but you still learned in?
That's a good question. I would say that some of my most fun classes have been ones where I'm with my friends. So like this year, I'm not a lover of English or writing, but our technical writing class has been a lot of fun with Mr. Adkins just because it's a large friend group, it's our senior year, and we're trying to learn and have fun at the same time. But a lot of my most fun courses, which may sound boring to a lot of people, are the science and math courses, just because that's what I'm interested in.
Who has assisted you in your high school career?
So, of course, my family has. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. It takes a lot to be highly involved in school and athletics, which I have been. Coaches have helped me with time management as I'm trying to get all my schoolwork done, and really just our amazing educators and admin staff at Salem. A lot of help has come from Mrs. Martin in the college search.
What advice would you give the incoming freshman class this year?
To the incoming freshman class this year, I'd just say, don't hold back and don't put off the work. You don't want to slack now and it'll really harm you later. I took hard classes all 4 years and it's really paying off in the long run.
What are your future plans?
I planned to go to college, undecided. Getting late on that, but I do need to decide, but I haven't. I'll either end up at Indiana University Southeast or the University of Southern Indiana. I plan to major in biochemistry and will be on track to enter optometry school after graduation.
What have been some of your favorite memories at Salem High School?
I'll always remember the state run. I'm the last member of the state team. I'm the last class. So that was great. And really, all I remember about the state run is just the community surrounding us and walking into the gyms that were packed with black and gold. And that would probably be my best memory from Salem.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to Lion Nation?
To Lion Nation, I say thank you for all your support over the past 4 years, and I am forever grateful to have graduated from Salem High School.
Again, thank you, Sydney, for sitting down with me and the Salem Lions News Network, and good luck. This has been Elaine Houchin with SLNN. Again, congratulations to Sydney for her award. Now, let's move on to continuing our series of interviews that we call SCS Staff Spotlight. This week for the SCS Staff Spotlight, we are bringing 2 interviews for the price of 1. The first one is Mrs. Weaver from Brady Shrum Elementary. Finn, take it away.
This week we will be continuing the Salem Community School Staff Spotlight with one of Salem's own grad and current BSE kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Weaver. Thank you for meeting with me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Mrs. Weaver.
Well, I'm married and we've been going on 29 years now. And I have 2 grown daughters. Elizabeth is 24 and Caitlin is 22. And I've been teaching at the Brady Shrum Elementary kindergarten classroom for 24 years. I love to read books and walk and draw. Some of the things I enjoy doing. Yep.
Yeah. And what did you study in college?
I studied education with an endorsement in kindergarten. I really wanted to teach kindergarten, so got a special endorsement to teach then. Back then you had to get a special endorsement to teach kindergarten.
Who's your favorite school teacher and why?
I have lots of favorite school teachers, but one of my favorites was my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Kramer. She came to school smiling all the time and just made learning fun. And then another teacher that I really admired was my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Ratliff. She was always caring and made learning fun as well.
Yeah.
So.
And who are your role models in life?
Honestly, Jesus is probably my #1 role model. So, yep.
And we know that you're from Salem, so give us a glimpse what brought you back to here.
I've always loved Salem. I graduated from Salem. I live in Salem. I grew up in Salem. So to me, it was home. And I wanted to bring back to education what education was for me. It was learning. It was fun. I enjoyed being here. So I wanted to make that for my students. I wanted to create learning that was fun and caring and just love my students. So.
And have you taught any other grades than kindergarten?
Nope, kindergarten I've taught 24 years, so I love it.
And what's the worst and best things about being a teacher?
The best thing is that I get to teach kids every day. I love working with kids. And the worst thing is probably dealing with more of the traumas, behaviors this year, and watching kids go through trauma. That's been the hardest.
What's some traditions or superstitions that you have on the first day of school or what's your getting ready routine?
The first day of school, I try to over prepare. I want to make sure I have lots of activities that are accessible, so the kids are busy and having fun. And usually I get a good night's sleep the night before, and just wake up and pray the next morning that everything goes well.
And how do you keep things interesting for the kindergartners?
We play a lot of games and just try to make learning fun. The kids would think they're playing games, but we're actually learning and stuff. So it's just neat to see them grow and learn.
And what would your students, be interested to find out about you or surprised?
They may be surprised that I've been over to Germany twice. I have family that live in Germany. So a lot of aunts and uncles that live over there. My mom grew up in Germany for a while, and so that's kind of neat to have family in Germany.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And if money wasn't an issue, where would you vacation at?
I'd probably go back to Hawaii. We went to Hawaii this past summer, and it was beautiful. It was just gorgeous. So it was really peaceful and just beautiful. I want to go back.
Where on Hawaii? What
We went to Oahu. The
Oahu.
northern part, and then we went to the southern part as well. But the northern part was absolutely beautiful. We got to see sea turtles, and they were huge.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were
definitely.
so fun to watch.
That is awesome.
So,
And
yeah.
is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Again, thank you, Mrs. Weaver, for sitting down with me and Lion Nation. This has been Finn Kreitzer with SLNN and The Salem Show.
The next one is our favorite athletic trainer, Miss Mallory Mires.
This week we will continue the Salem Community Schools Staff Spotlight with one of the athletes and coaches' favorite people, SMS teacher and athletic trainer, Mrs. Mallory Mires. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Finn.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So originally I'm from Columbus, Indiana. I attended Columbus East High School where I graduated in 2014. Pretty active. I played sports all throughout growing up, and then I was a 10-year 4-H member. So kind of active in different areas of life. I attended the University of Indianapolis where I got my Bachelor's of Science in Athletic Training in 2018. And just, I enjoy sports, I enjoy working out, I enjoy just being active, I love to be outside, love the sun, so.
Yes. It's good for you, so might as well. And how did you find yourself in Salem?
So I actually never knew Salem existed until I got my job here. I remember when I applied for my job through Schneck, I got the phone call for my interview, and my now boss asked me if it was going to be okay if she saw that I lived in Columbus, if the job was in Salem, and I told her, I said, never heard of it, so it works for me. We'll just kind of see where things go.
Yeah. And who is your favorite teacher and why?
So that's a hard question because I had a lot of good teachers throughout school. I would have to say they're husband and wife, so I can't leave either of them out. But my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Sollenberger, and then my 8th grade, she's actually my 7th and 8th grade science teacher. And then also my homeroom teacher in 8th grade, Mrs. Sollenberger. But I would say the two of them, just really, really good teachers. They loved teaching. They made teaching or learning fun. And just, you could just tell how much they cared about their students. And I, as a teacher now, I find myself a lot of times implementing some of the things that they did. I catch myself saying some of the things that they used to say, and just have made a very positive impact on my life that I actually still keep in contact with both of them to this
That's
day.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are your role models?
I would say, again, I've had a lot of good people in my life. I would say definitely my grandpa. We called him Wimps, which there's a whole story on how that name came about. But he was just a good man, somebody I try to be like as far as my faith, the way I treat people, the way I try to help people. He's definitely just made a good impact on my life, and again, somebody I try to be like every day.
Right, yeah. And what sports did you play in high school?
So I played volleyball, basketball, and softball. So sports year-round for me.
Right. And what is your favorite thing to play and watch?
Growing up, my favorite thing, I'm going to back up because I always answer this question in 2 ways. Favorite thing to actually play was basketball, but what I was actually good at was softball. As far as watching, I love watching football, but specifically I like college football.
Yeah. And what classes do you teach?
So this year I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade health, but my first 2 years of teaching I taught 6th and 8th grade health, and then also taught 7th grade agriculture.
Nice. And what have you learned the past couple years of teaching?
I would say if you have a plan, expect that plan to change. You can go in every single day and have an outline of exactly what you want to do, but got to be prepared that at any point that outline's going to be thrown out the window, depending on what's going on in the classroom, what did we remember from the day before. Just, I guess, always be prepared for anything.
Yeah. And what's the best and worst thing about being an athletic trainer?
I would say best thing, well, there's a lot of good things, but ultimately my favorite thing is just the relationships I get to have with my athletes. Being an athletic trainer is a unique healthcare profession because the cool thing is I get to see my patients, so to say, every day, whereas doctors, nurses, physical therapists, they see them maybe once, twice a week for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to actually get to know my athletes, get to spend time with them, get to watch them go from being a freshman all the way to their senior year, and just watching them grow throughout their 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
As far as worst thing, probably documentation. Any injury I have, any rehab, anything that's taken a certain amount of time, more than just a day or two, I have to document. And I don't always necessarily get the time to sit down at a computer and do that every day. So definitely my least favorite thing.
Right. And you have athletes and coaches constantly going in and out of your training room. How do you keep things organized and under control?
So it's probably no secret to any of the athletes or coaches. I'm a very particular person. Everything has a certain place, and if someone comes in and it's not where it goes, they know typically right away. Or if they're touching something that they're not supposed to touch, they know. So as far as like rehab equipment, tape, and all of that, every cabinet is labeled in the training room, so there's no surprise on where something should be at.
Right.
Athletes know if they get rehab equipment out, it needs to go back into the cabinet. So overall, all of them are pretty good about helping me keep things clean, but they've also, if they aren't keeping things clean, they've probably learned from me at some point.
Yeah.
how I keep
they're
things
organized, right?
Yes.
And what would people be, surprised to figure out about you?
Oh, I think I'm boring, but I would say when I was after my 7th grade year, going to 8th grade year, I actually played basketball, or had the opportunity to play basketball over in Vienna, Austria.
Really?
So that was a 10-day tournament type deal. We didn't play the entire 10 days. We did some like sightseeing and stuff. But we ended up getting second place, so I have a silver medal from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool experience.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. And if money was an issue, where would you vacation at?
Definitely Greece.
Greece?
Yes, just how clear the water is, the history there. It's just, I look at pictures at it every once in a while.
It's quite a beautiful place.
It is.
And anything else you would like to add?
Not really. I just thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Oh, of course. Again, thank you, Miss Mires, for sitting down with me and Lion Nation. This has been Finn Kreitzer with SLNN and The Salem Show. Now back to the show.
Our last interview is with the new SCS Assistant Superintendent. This is Elaine Houchin with SLNN, and I have a chance to meet the new Assistant Superintendent of Salem Community Schools, Jill Mires. First, let me say welcome to the Salem Community Schools. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
First, tell us about yourself.
I am from Madison, and I have been in education for 32 years. And my most recent position, I have been the principal at Rikers Ridge Elementary and was the elementary curriculum director for Madison Schools for the elementaries. And previously, before that, I was a teacher and principal at Prince of Peace Schools and also principal at Madison Junior High School.
What attracted you to our small community?
That is probably the first thing that attracted me, this small community. And when I saw the posting for the assistant superintendent with a focus on curriculum, instruction, and assessment, that was really attractive to me because that's really my passion. And I think I'm most excited to try to help Salem schools look at what's really going well and then try to fill in the gaps with things that maybe they need, especially with our COVID learning gaps. We need to fill those. So I think the curriculum piece is really, really important, and to have a board and a superintendent that are so passionate about that and looking to hire someone to focus on those areas, I'm really, really excited to be working with Dr. Rutherford and the board.
What aspects of Salem Community Schools are you excited about?
Well, so far, just tonight, feeling the energy in the room with the new coaches. I can't wait to be immersed in the extracurricular activities. I love to go to sporting events, love the academic teams, and big fine arts person. So I'm excited to immerse myself in that part of the community. I cannot wait to meet all 3 of the principals and work closely with them and get to know the teachers. And I think probably one of the first things that we'll need to look at is just the vertical alignment piece for curriculum, how we're learning from one grade to the next, and are we covering what we need to cover, and are we making sure they're ready for that next grade level.
Have you had time to go through each building and the different facilities?
I have been through the high school and I have visited the middle school, but the only one I haven't been to yet is the elementary, so I'm looking forward to visiting the elementary school on my next visit here.
What has impressed you the most about our facilities?
Well, they're very clean and very up to date. I feel like just coming into the boardroom tonight, where the meeting took place here, a lot of excitement. I like the graphics. Everything was really inviting. And I can just tell again that the board, Dr. Rutherford, the faculty and staff here put a lot of pride into their buildings and grounds. And you can just tell, and it's very inviting. So far, everybody's been extremely friendly, and I feel welcomed already.
As assistant superintendent, what will be some of your primary duties?
The big focus will be the curriculum piece, and then the instructional piece, and then assessment. So all 3 of those go hand in hand. And again, Salem's already on the right track with professional learning communities, and again, devoting time where teachers have those times to collaborate and talk about what's going well, what teaching strategies and best practices they're already using. So I can't wait to jump on board and be a part of those professional learning communities. And like I said, they've already set aside time to do that. So you can already tell that that's very important, and it's a priority.
Is there anything else that you just want to add?
Again, I just feel very welcomed, and I just can't wait to start the position. I think my first day is July 1st, but I'll already be working on things before then, and I just can't wait to be a part of this awesome community and immerse myself in it.
Thanks again for taking some time with us today. I hope we will be speaking more with you in the future. This is Elaine Houchin with the Salem Lions News Network. We would like to thank all the staff members for sitting down and talking to SLNN, and we would like to say welcome to the new SCS Assistant Superintendent. Now we'll toss it to Braden at the Hoosier Upland Sports Desk for what is going to be a very long Salem Sports Minute.
Thanks, Elaine. Now let's get into sports from the Hoosier Upland Sports Desk. Our spring sports are here, with Lions baseball getting a slow start. Last Monday, they lost against Silver Creek, and the next day, we lost to Providence 12-11. But after these losses, we went to Crawford County and won 14-4 that Friday. They played Brownstown and lost 11-5. Then they lost to Springs Valley, and then they lost to Eastern. But they won against South Central this past Saturday. They played North Harrison last night and play Madison tonight. First pitch is at 6 p.m. Good luck, guys. Lady Lions softball started slow, but lately they found their winning ways. They lost to Brownstown, but then we beat Eastern 7-6 last Thursday. We played Austin and Mitchell and won against Austin 6-5, but we couldn't win against Mitchell. The ladies beat the visiting Paoli Rams last Monday 20-6, and then 4 days later they traveled to Ramsey and hammered the Lady Cougars 15-7. Then, this past Monday, they held on to beat the visiting Providence squad 15-12. Then, they roughed up the Lady Eagles in Austin 21-4. They had another game last night versus Clarksville. Tonight, they host the Lady Bulldogs from New Albany. More on these games and others coming up next week. Golf has been doing well, picking up the win against Clarksville, Lanesville, and North Harrison, with Alex Wilcox shooting 43 against Clarksville and 41 against Lanesville and North Harrison. Unfortunately, we lost to Scottsburg despite Nate Henry shooting a 46. Keep it up, boys. Lady Lions tennis lost 2-3 last Monday night to the Austin Lady Eagles. Our Salem boys with the track team came out with a county championship. Super proud of all the guys. They won 12 of 16 events. The girls also had a strong meet and continued to get better and better. Back at it next week. We recently had the chance to interview Elliot Daniels from our Washington County Special Olympics. Our SLNN reporter Les Bowles had a chance to talk with him.
Today we are sitting down with the Washington County Special Olympics athlete, Elliot Daniels. He is currently enrolled at Athlete Leadership University at Butler University, where he recently received his certificate for governance. He received the Melvin Award for his work on Capstone Project. He is currently working towards a communication major as a global messenger. He serves as the chairperson for the Special Olympics Indiana Washington County Athlete Leadership Council, as well as the chairperson Special Olympics Indiana Area 2 Athlete Leadership Council. And if that wasn't enough, he also represents the Washington County at the state level on the Athlete Leadership Council. Wow, you've got a lot going on.
Yes.
Thanks for taking some of your valuable time and sitting down with me, Elliot.
You're welcome, Les.
So, what is Special Olympics?
Special Olympics is an organization for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And Special Olympics is for people that want to participate.
How long has Special Olympics been around?
Since 1969.
Does it happen once a year?
It happens more than once a year. It happens throughout the year with different events.
Where did they have their first games?
Chicago, Illinois at Soldier Field.
How old do you have to be to participate?
8 years old to participate, but they have a young athletes program where you can be involved with from 2 to 7 years old.
How long have you participated in Special Olympics?
For about 9 or 10 years now.
What sports do you participate in?
Corn toss, cross country, basketball, bowling, track and field.
How many sports are available for athletes to compete in?
Nationally, there's 32. In the state of Indiana, 23, and Washington County offers 6.
We've been focused on athletes at this point, but let's shift gears and talk about volunteering.
Okay.
Why are there no additional sports available in Washington County?
Because we need more volunteers.
Minds Unified is hosting a movie about the Carl Eskren story, The Best We Got. Who is Carl Eskren?
Carl Erskine played for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1955, and he was friends with Jackie Robinson, and he was a teammate of Jackie Robinson's, and Carl Erskine had a son that was involved with Special Olympics.
The movie is May 4th at Salem Middle School at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. The cost is $5. We are inviting everyone out to this movie, so be sure to come out and see his inspiring story. Again, thank you, Elliot, for sitting down with me in the Salem Lions News Network. This has been Les Bowles with SLNN.
Thanks again to Elliot Daniels for sitting down with us. Again, the Carl Erskine story, The Best We Got movie, is May 4th at Salem Middle School at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the cost is $5. Now let's move on to my favorite sport, hockey. The regular NHL season is over. In its place are the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we will come back to that in a minute. Leading up to the playoffs, the team still had to prove their skills. The last 2 games played in the regular season were between the Sabres and Blue Jackets, with the Sabres coming out on top. And the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Colorado Avalanche versus the Predators, with the Avalanche coming out with that win. With that, let's get into the Stanley Cup. The Islanders are against the Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes are playing pretty good, holding 3-2 over the Islanders. The Bruins are playing the Panthers, and unsurprisingly, the Bruins are up 3-1. I expect the Bruins to go 4-2 against the Panthers, but I wouldn't be shocked if they win their next game, winning 4-1. Next up, the Minnesota Wilds versus the Dallas Stars. I heavily favor the Stars in this matchup, and they are not disappointing me. They are 3-2, and I'm excited to see if they can pull out the win. Next, the Kings versus the Oilers. The Oilers seem to be playing well, holding 3-2 over the Kings. I didn't really have an opinion on this game, but if I had to guess, the Oilers will probably walk away with the next round. The Rangers are playing the Devils, and if you didn't know, they are rivals. In their first matchup, the Rangers took away the win 5-1 and continued to play well, winning 5-1 in their very next round. But the Rangers lost their heat and lost the next 2 rounds, meaning they are tied 2-2. The tiebreaker was last night. More on that later. The Lightnings had a good start against the Maple Leafs, but couldn't keep up, now down 3-1. Speaking of being down 3-1, the Jets are struggling to win against the Golden Knights. And finally, the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Avalanche, are playing a relatively new team, the Seattle Krakens. Despite their young age, the Krakens have kept up with a score being tied 2-2. And important sports story before I send it back to the anchors. The national nightmare is finally over. Aaron Rodgers has finally been traded to the Jets. I would go into details about the trade, but really, does anybody care? I'm just glad we can move on. And I'm for sure there is NFL draft news too, but that happened last night and you can read about that for yourself. I know, I said I was wrapping up this extremely long sports minute, but how can I move on without mentioning the greatest 2 minutes in sports? The 149th running of the Kentucky Derby. Florida Derby winner Forte is currently the favorite to finish first in this year's Run for the Roses. The race will be Saturday, May 6th at 6:30 p.m. But don't forget the Oaks Day, May 5th, and the Derby, May 4th. I think there's a Star Wars joke in there too, but I will stay away from that.
Shop local at Lynx Clothing and Shoes. Lynx offers a wide variety of clothing. Looking for a nice outfit for the night? Lynx has it. Need a nice pair of shoes to go with it? Lynx has it. Lynx doesn't just offer nice clothes, though. They also provide all your local sports team gear. Shop for Salem, Eastern, or West Washington merchandise. Is your child missing any sports gear for his or her game? Lynx has it. With the wide selection and stylish and comfortable clothing and shoes, all your sports gear and equipment needs, along with the reasonable prices and a central location in the heart of downtown Salem, Indiana, there is no reason you shouldn't stop by and shop at Lynx Clothing and Shoes.
This week's Monday Matters is about civility.
Civility means acting in a respectful way, even when we disagree.
It means we behave in a diplomatic, peaceful way with those around us.
It includes common courtesy, but also denotes being aware of how our actions affect others, no matter where we might be.
When we act with civility, we invite others around us to do the same.
We set an example with our actions. Civility is more than just saying please and thank you.
It is more than following rules and guidelines. It is something that we internalize that enriches your life and the lives of people around you.
We believe that civility is something anyone can do and experience, regardless of where they come from.
When we choose civility, we actively engage in 2 things, being attentive and being considerate.
We notice what is happening around us and to us. Then we make the choice to do something for the greater good.
Choosing civility fosters respect and positivity in relationships, social media interactions, and our communities, and ultimately, our world.
Choosing civility shows that you want to understand the people around you.
Choosing civility shows the world that you care about how you connect with other people.
Choosing civility is how we create a world where we all can coexist.
This is why choosing civility matters. That wraps up Monday Matters. Thank you for tuning in to the Salem Show from the Washington County Community Foundation studios.
This concludes our stupendous 7th episode of Season 10 of The Salem Show.
I like it. As the show runs down, we would like to remind everyone watching to like and subscribe to our YouTube account and streaming channels.
Also, don't forget to check out our other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok.
On these apps, you can view an array of videos and updates about our Salem Lions News Network.
Let's not forget about our radio station, 700 Roar Radio.
You can find it online at live365.com or on Roku.
Content is added daily, including the 411.
We'll see you next time, and have a great gold-blooded week, Lions.